Okay, so yesterday we used this jig and the table saw to create the outside cup of a bowl, and then we used this jig with a gear in it to create spirals along that exterior circumference, and it looked really cool. But today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to show you how you can make a bowl on this jig, the outside shape of a bowl, and add some details with some different features and attachments. So let's get started. Well, that's the first time I used the router to do this, and I'm not impressed. I like the table saw much better. There was more tear out. It was a lot more aggressive than the table saw was, and I've sanded this out quite a bit already. And I know some of you are thinking right now, he should have slowed down. I tried that. I slowed it down to about 60 RPM, and it was more aggressive than it is now. It was much harder to control the lever action on it. The faster speeds actually was a lot easier to control than and on the end grain is where I got real bad tear out, and I'm sure I could try a couple different bits. Maybe a bowl bit would probably help with that. But again, first one, I'll play with that in the future. And I did this because I thought, there might be some of you who are interested in doing this but would be a little bit nervous about using the table saw to make this shape. And if you've seen my last video where we used the table saw, it took 2 minutes to make the outside shape on a bowl of hardwood. Now this is a mix of hardwood and softwood. It's got oak, black walnut, and cedar in it. And this took a lot longer. This was about 7-8 minutes of raising that router bit slowly into it to make that cut. But anyway, now that we've got the shape, I want to do some details, and I wanted to show you this feature I'd added right here. This is just this adds little increments, and I have stop positions. I can put a pin in here, and that will stop it at a certain point. And what I want to do with this particular bowl is I'd like to put a band around the outside edge of it and then add some details underneath it. Okay, I've added a pin in my 11 position, and what that'll do is just stop me when I get to a certain point. It won't let me go any further. So I'll raise the router in, and I'll take one single pass, maybe take off a 1/4 inch or so that it'll be a raised band up on that, and then we'll switch to our next position. Okay, I've thrown a little finish on here for 2 reasons. The band really wasn't showing up very well, and this is the band we just cut here along this edge. That's a little raised band, and we could add some details to that, some cross-sectioning just by using the pin up. Right here I have a wheel on here that has indexing points where I can put a pin in it and that'll stop it, and then we could put a different bit in and just bring it down, and we could cut little incremental grooves along that band or do whatever we wanted to with it. Maybe add another detail inside the band to kind of set it off. But really what I want to show you next is we're going to add some details down here using another system that I have for this. That's really kind of a cool little thing. It also does, instead of like the jig yesterday where it cut those long spirals all the way across here, this one will cut shorter spirals. So you can make different shape spirals just with this one simple thing, one simple jig or setup on here I'm going to show you in a second. So instead of having those big long spirals going all the way around, they're kind of shorter diagonal spirals that come up along the piece here. And we're going to do that here. So it should be fun. Okay, so I put a screw in at the 11 position and the 4 position here. And what that does is just restricts the movement. I can't go any farther than the 11, and I can't come any closer than the 4. So then I'll install this guy right here. And this just sits on top of that. The gear system we used yesterday for cutting the spirals. I've just removed the track, and I've got a pin that I can put in different incremental positions along this field here. So what happens is when I pull down on this, it turns this whole assembly, and that turns out bowls slightly, so I can cut spirals in the side for a detail that aren't as dramatic as the ones that we cut yesterday. So let's fire it up. looks like a really cool detail on this bowl, but if I wanted to add just a touch more detail, or maybe make it look a bit more complicated, I just simply drop it down one pin, and that moves my position over here roughly about just over a ½ inch, like 5/8 of an inch, and I can create a second line coming up next to it. Okay guys, so once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the video, and we got more stuff coming with this. It's going to take me a few videos to squeeze everything in, but I really want to take the time to show you some of the really cool things that this can do. You know, we can do this same feature and then make it a cross on the other, going from the other direction, and I'll show you that maybe I'll get time to show you that in a different video. There's lots of really cool patterns you can create with this jig, and we're just kind of touching the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, and we'll do more. I'll show you what else this thing could do. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you guys later.